So finding your way into a comfortable position, lying on your back. And if you're still moving, just letting yourself be aware of what informs you in that movement. Feeling the sensations that tell you to shift your knee or your hip or your shoulder, or to find another blanket or cushion, whatever it is. Can you feel the sensations? Our experience and our decisions begin with sensation, which we tend to not pay attention to in our everyday lives. This is an opportunity to be more deeply with this primary level of experience, of our sensations. What do you sense in this moment? As we begin to settle together, what draws your attention? What are you aware of? Just allowing yourself to be curious. What actually is present for you in this moment? Without judgment, although judgment may be one of the things present. Just being with, being aware of what is in this moment, in your experience. Noticing how it is to take this time to just be with yourself, with your body and sensations, and whatever else may be there, feelings, thoughts, emotions. How is it to be with yourself? And as we have an intention to settle here together, just noticing what speaks to you in this moment of settling or not. Perhaps there are some sensations of warmth, spreading, softening, slowing down, breath slowing. Perhaps you have a sense of the weight of your body resting into whatever you're lying on. Just noticing what speaks to you of settling in this moment. And what supports you in being here in this moment? What supports you in resting, in being? As we continue to settle and deepen together, including in your awareness, in case you haven't already, your breath, the movement of the breath, filling and emptying. Noticing where and how you sense the breath in your body. And noticing the qualities of the breath, how fast or slow it is, how easy or effortful. How hard or soft does your breath feel? How shallow or deep? And where in your body are you aware of the breath? So you may sense it moving in and out of your nostrils. Perhaps one nostril more than the other. And this isn't about trying to change anything. It's being aware of what you actually sense. How is it just now? Do you sense the breath moving in your chest? In your diaphragm, stomach area? And perhaps you sense it down into your belly. Just noticing the filling and emptying, breath moving. And you might notice if you have a sense of breathing or efforting to breathe in some way. Or perhaps there's more of a sense of being breathed. Being breathed. Being aware. As we're being with the breath, it can be helpful to consider the function of the breath in bringing oxygen and aliveness to every part of the body, every cell in the body. Every cell is breathing, exchanging gases with its environment, filling, emptying, pulsating with its respiration. There's actually the possibility of sensing the breath everywhere. Of sensing the cells breathing. And so we've begun with these areas of the chest, diaphragm, belly area, that are places we tend to think of ourselves as breathing. But consider that each of those areas is made up of communities of cells. And all of those cells, millions, billions of cells, are breathing, filling, emptying, pulsating. Notice what happens with your sensations, your sense of these areas, as you consider the cells that make up your breathing lungs, the muscles involved in breathing, your heart, your skin, all of the organs in your trunk, all made up of tiny little cells breathing. And so we're going to take a bit of a tour of the body with an intention to be with our sense of the cells breathing. And as you bring your awareness to each area, you may or may not feel like you're sensing the cells breathing, but be aware of what you are sensing. What are you aware of? You may have some sense of each area waking up, lighting up. Maybe a sense of pulsation, of radiating, a lightness. Perhaps a sense of flow or streaming. Or maybe some of the areas are difficult for you to sense. Just noting that. Areas where the cells aren't breathing as well are harder for us to sense. And as we bring our awareness there, we support the cells in breathing more fully. So areas that feel like they're hard to feel, like they're numb or dense, there's no sense of movement or aliveness there, or less of a sense of that. Just taking note of whatever you do experience as we tour through the body. And so widening our awareness from just the trunk area that we've been in to include the pelvis. Is there any sense for you of the breath moving in the pelvis? cells making up the bones of the pelvis, the muscles, the pelvic floor, the organs within the pelvis. All made up of cells, breathing, pulsating with the breath, with a subtle breath. Cells resonating, communicating with each other. Moving down the body. So some sense of the breath moving down into your hips, and your legs, your thighs. And noticing how they may feel different on the right side from the left side. Cells, breathing, dancing with the breath. Sensing your knees, lower legs, all made up of cells, communities of cells, breathing. Ankles, feet. Can you sense the backs of your feet or tops of your feet? Your heels, arches of the feet, the balls of the feet, toes. Can you sense each toe? And perhaps making some little tiny movements with your toes, just to wake them up, to connect your awareness into that part of your body, saying hello to the communities of cells in your toes. Tiny little micro movements, so slow and small that someone watching probably wouldn't even see them, but you can feel them. And being curious about the sensations you experience with your awareness in your toes and tiny movements there. You may have a sense of something in your toes, but not just in your toes. Maybe a sense of streaming up through the fluid communities of cells. There's a resonance through the cellular communities. And so noticing how much of the whole of you, the whole of your body, you're aware of just now. And is there a response? If you have your awareness in, say, your big toe on the right foot and make a tiny little movement with it, is that reflected or responded to somewhere else in your body? Being curious. And letting your awareness include your fingers, which easily reflect the toes. Can you sense the breath, the cells in each finger, in your thumbs? And again, you may want to make some tiny little micro movements with each finger. index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, little fingers. If you're making little micro movements there, do you sense a response anywhere in your body? Can you sense the rest of your hands, the backs of the hands, the palms, the wrists, cells breathing in your forearms? Again, it may feel different on the right side than the left. Elbows, upper arms, shoulders, underarms. Can you sense down the sides of your body? And the back of your body? Can you feel the places where your back and the backs of your legs, arms, shoulders, and head are making contact? And what is the nature of that contact? Does it feel like you are resting into the surface that you're on? Perhaps some places feel like a puddle melting into the mat or blanket, whatever you're lying on. Some other places might feel like they're more dense and pulled away from that surface. And if we consider the earth and her gravity like a great mother always holding us in her lap, to what extent can we allow ourselves to rest into that support? Melting into the support and sensing it. At those places of contact where your body meets the force of gravity of the earth through the surface that you're lying on. Can you sense the contact? Can you feel it? You may have a sense of the contact shifting slightly with each breath. Perhaps there's a sense of the cells resting into the earth. Or not. Can the cells in the front of your body rest into the cells behind them? The cells in the back of your body rest into whatever you're lying on. As we're being with the body, the sensations, the breathing of the cells, you may have an awareness of some areas not breathing as fully as others, or areas that are harder to be with, harder to sense than others. Perhaps they feel numb, or you can't find them. There's less of a sense of aliveness, or there's a sense of density, of holding, or perhaps discomfort, pain. I'd like to suggest choosing one or two of those kinds of areas where the cells aren't breathing as fully, and making contact with those areas with your hands as a way to say hello and offer them support. As you make contact, noticing what the contact feels like. Can you sense it? Can you sense your hands, from your hands, making the contact? And can you sense the touch of your hand from whichever part you're making contact with? And feel free to offer those areas some vibration and additional awareness in the form of a humming sound. So as we hum, practicing sensing the vibration of the hum in the tissues, being curious about how, if they receive the vibration, they receive your offering, how do they receive it? How do they respond? And so taking a couple of minutes, if you will, to make some humming sounds into any areas of holding, offering the sound to them. And when you're ready, taking some time to just be with how your cells and tissues and awareness respond, and how they integrate and receive the gift you've just offered them. This taking however long feels good and right to you to be with this. And then in your own timing, slowly, with awareness, finding your way into sitting for the next part of the sequence. Continuing with all that we do, to have an intention to be with the cells, to sense the subtle movement, the breath, sensations.